How's it going? I have a website. It's called pointlesstraveler.com, and what we have here is the best travel camera in the entire world. Okay, this is the Fuji XT1 with a 16mm Bokeh monster lens on it that's water resistant. Okay, so this is the 16mm WR. This is the Fuji XT1. All right, here's the neoprene case, and here's the this is a metal lens cap that I use to lock moisture out of the lens. Okay, and basically I've got this thing set to 400 dynamic range. I've got it set to 6,400 ISO, 1,000 shutter speed. As far as how light and dark the photo is, I have it set to 0. I've got it on High Pro Negative Film Simulator, and I went into the menu and pumped up the ISO to 5,400. And I pretty much think that that covers the technicalities of it. But basically the way that this works is a fixed lens, which is what this is always better than zoom. It always takes a better photograph than zoom, okay? And there's a kind of lens that Fuji makes called a Bokeh monster. A Bokeh monster is basically a lens that takes sharp photos that are very fuzzy in the background. And Bokeh is a slang word from Tokyo that means drunk. And it basically means fuzzy. So the better your fuzzy photos are, the more Bokeh-licious your photographs are. And the better a lens is at taking Bokeh-licious photos, once it reaches a certain point, it's considered a Bokeh monster. This is actually the biggest, best Bokeh monster ever made. And Fuji made one that was very good that wasn't waterproof called the 56mm. But when you're dealing with these cameras, okay, you want to take the millimeters, divide them by 2, and then add that number onto the lens. So this 16mm is 16 plus 8, that's 24. Now when MLK and JFK were famous, most of the photos that photographers took in black and white were 28mm, and that's the correct millimeter camera for taking photography. That's what this is. This is a 24mm. Okay, so it's really easy to take pictures of people up close inside the tent, or if you want to take a picture of an entire mountain range with the canyon and the lakes and the mountain peak and whatever from while you're standing on a trail, this is what you want also. So say for instance with a 56mm Bokeh monster, that's actually like an 80mm lens, and you have to stand really far away from something to take a photo of it. It's actually really difficult to do. So with this 24mm Bokeh monster, you're able to take all the photos that you want. This is a travel camera. It's completely, it's got a magnesium alloy case hardened body with water resistance, so you can use it in the rain, you can use it in the snow, you can use it in freezing conditions. You can even maybe use it kayaking or snorkeling. Okay, I wouldn't really use this camera surfing because it's an expensive camera, and basically if any moisture gets inside the lens, inside the camera at all, the tiny stainless steel wires that are inside the camera will rust and you'll lose all of the creative control. So really what this does is, this is a one lens system. I put the waterproof lens on here, leave it on, and now the camera is sealed and no moisture can get in and out. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm never gonna take the lens off, and that will lock the moisture out of the camera. And that will allow the creative controls on these knobs to work for longer, basically. If I allowed moisture to get inside the camera, this camera would have a lifespan of like 1 month. If I make sure that no moisture gets inside the camera, this camera will probably have a lifespan of like 1 year. I'm hoping, which is a lot. You know, the camera will take great photos when it's on auto mode. So here, if I twist this, so okay, that's auto mode, okay, with the A on there. So once the camera starts to malfunction, I can leave it on auto mode, and it'll still take really good photos. But what's the point of that? You know, why would I buy an expensive camera if I'm going to leave it on auto mode? So the idea is to just lock the moisture out of here and use it as a good camera for as long as possible. All right, and you know, I bought it for 2,000 bucks on sale. I'm not gonna lie to anybody and tell people that that's a good idea, but you know, if you're interested in art, if you've ever taken art in college, if you like photography, if you're interested in movies and Vimeo and YouTube and stuff like that, then this is a very good camera to get. It's small. It's got a gigantic Bokeh Monster lens on it. On sale, it's $2,000 for the kit. You know, that did cut into my budget pretty hard, but you know, I'm not going to pretend like it's easy to buy a $2,000 camera, but you know, for me, it was worth it. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, Fuji is a really good company. For instance, when there was a Ebola outbreak in West Africa, it was Fuji who created a cure to Ebola. This invention, the XT1 with this 60mm lens, this is also another great invention from Fuji. I trust this company. I think that it's a really good company. It's very trendy and popular and famous. As far as pickpockets are concerned, you know, a lot of pickpockets, they don't want to steal this camera because they don't think that they're going to get any money for it at a pawn shop because it doesn't look like a full-size Nikon or a Canon. And so they don't want to steal it. Fuji says that this silver paint is on there really hard, you know, that it won't come off. They say that they've worked out a lot of the problems with the camera and that the camera works really well. It has a nice flash, which I'm not showing in this video, but it comes off and on. The flash turns off and on. During the day, I pump the flash all the way up, and at night, I turn the flash all the way down. You know, this is just something to think about. It's a really expensive gear item that I personally think is worth it. It's just, you know, an important decision to make. It's kind of like buying a mountain bike or a motorcycle. Just, you know, it's a really expensive gear item to bring. And I'm probably going to bring a 32,000 ohm-hour mega battery in my backpack to charge this camera with, and I'm not going to bring a laptop at all. I'm going to depend entirely on the camera. The camera does have Wi-Fi in it, and you can download an app onto the iPhone where you can transfer photos from the camera to the iPhone and then go to a Starbucks and upload from the iPhone to Flickr or Facebook. So anyway, I think I'm going to be going to take photos with this camera in March, and I hope that people check out the photos and think that they're nice. And, you know, I have a website. It's called pointlesstraveler.com. Please check it out. Thanks a lot. Bye.